Good morning, it's Friday and Ask Baldy. We were a day late this week because I've been so busy. There's a lesson there for us all, I think. And if you do the things that I say you're supposed to do, this is how it will get for you too. Anyway, let's look at what's going on and what people want to know. So, first one is from Alan, who says, I'm a franchisee of a fairly successful kitchen door replacement company. The thrust of the marketing is always to save money by not replacing the whole kitchen. Blah blah blah, and then I say a mixed message. We definitely lose out on the massive new kitchen market. Is there any way you can think of to advertise both side by side, or should you target separate ones with separate adverts? And the answer is you should always use separate adverts. And I'll go further and say, if necessary, use separate websites. It's the same thing. If you were selling, let's be indelicate, if you were selling sanitary towels, you wouldn't dream of advertising in men's magazines, would you? Why not? Because men aren't generally interested in them. Now, the same thing is happening here, only the difference is less obvious. Basically, you've got people who are in the mood to have their kitchen replaced or refurbished. They're probably not going to be in the mood to buy a brand new kitchen. Although I will say, there's probably a good chance that you can upsell someone from a kitchen door replacement to a full kitchen replacement. But you don't want them going the other way. You don't want someone coming in looking for a new kitchen and then deciding, well, actually, we can do the doors on their own and that's good enough. So I would keep them completely separate. And then I would, for the list where you have the people who have expressed interest in just the doors, I would then see if you can upsell them to the full kitchen, and the people who are after a full kitchen, I wouldn't mention the doors at all. Does that answer your question? But I know it seems like a bit more of an expense and a bit more trouble, but you will go much further if you segment your market properly and really get that focus in. People say the word laser focus, and it doesn't make any sense because a laser isn't focused, it's a coherent beam of light. It's not focused at all, but to use a common phrase, to get that laser focus, you need to pick out, like a sniper, the different parts of your market and focus your messages on those. And that goes for everybody in every market and every niche. Okay, and the second one today is from Elizabeth Rosa, who has corresponded with me quite a lot over the last few months, and she says in a very small font, Dear John, thanks for the Thursday videos. I find them very insightful. And also, your son is a little trooper. Isn't he just? He's so funny, he makes me laugh. The really funny bit is where he disappears off camera with a crash and then comes back as if nothing's happened. It's okay to laugh at that. Very un-PC, but I do anyway. Anyway, Elizabeth's question is, I've advertised my product in a classified ads of a newspaper in the past, which has resulted in no sales. There's a lesson there. Due to the limited budget, I now want to advertise in the classified ads of a magazine. I won't give the name. The thing is, there are already 3 ads selling the same type of product. My offer is different in that I offer a free business book in addition to the free DVDs. Also, my website will be a blog and then a sales page and no hard selling. Should I advertise in the same magazine as the other sellers, as that's where the market is, or should I find a publication in the same niche that does not advertise the same product? Well, if you're intent on advertising, I would go for the last one, because the fact that you've already made no sales in one place tells me something, and it should tell you something too. I also happen to know what you're selling and why and where it's come from, the history of it. And given that history, I would say be very, very careful about spending money in publications at all, because the guy who's doing this is notorious for selling rubbish, to be honest. And it's very hard to shift. You're not buying into the same model you think you are. But I personally would be testing this offline if I could, and trying to build myself a list. It might go slowly, but that's the most profitable way of doing it, simply because testing online is much easier. I would basically put my blog up and I would find my keywords and I would start writing some articles to easyinarticles.com, which is probably the best site, and then maybe articlesbase.com. Get some traffic, and then with the traffic I'm getting, I would test some of my ads. And when I've got an ad or a squeeze page that converts well, I would then translate that to a newspaper ad. But I'll be very, if you've had your fingers burned once on this, I wouldn't be in your position very keen to do it again, because print advertising isn't cheap. For the cost of a print ad, you could do a lot of local flyers. A lot of flyers to your local businesses, for instance, and drop them through letterboxes. So I test cheap first in your market before I went for the expensive one-shot option of an ad, which if it doesn't work, you've lost the money. So I hope that's been useful. Please keep coming along with those questions for Ask Baldy. I will get round to them. And nothing for Philosophical Friday today unless something crops up later on as I get about my business, because I'm absolutely swamped. Okie dokie, I shall speak to you soon. Bye bye.